technology screens. Now, as I said before, we're going to be testing the theories and I guess it would be theories of some of these screen paint products out here that basically at the end of the day, as I said before, can't back their products. They just can't seem to back them. One of the things we have requested from two individuals, actually one from CROWS1176, requesting, and mind you, gentlemen, don't take this the wrong way. I don't want you to think this has anything to do with the emails. We know you react that way anyway, so that's nothing new. But what we want to see is we want to see some of this stuff you guys have been writing on your website. And a lot of the stuff you write on this website, a lot of stuff you talk about in your videos is completely false. I've seen this when we did demonstrations. We actually went in and did a stream on looking at how some of these people in the big companies, how depending on ultra short throw projectors and dark environments, even the big companies do it too, but at least with the big companies, they do their tests. It may not be the best, but they do their tests at the end of the day, and they can back up to a certain degree of what their products can do. Some of the stuff that you guys have been posting have been extremely crazy nonsense at the end of the day. Now, one of the most craziest things I think I've read on this person's website is he claims that 2 quarts of his mixes can paint up to a 300-inch screen. This is a 180-inch screen, 16:9. It takes about a gallon to knock this one out. And the reason why is because the surface that it was painted on is a kind of a light stucco, so a little light stucco takes a little bit more. Where the fabric surface that we painted in took 48 ounces. Now, how I would know this, I physically had to paint the screen in to see whether or not which size we could really get out of it. And that's what you have to do. You can't kind of make up stuff off the top of your head and go, well, I think this would work, without physically doing. So this is going to be a challenge for you. I'm going to be posting this on quite a lot of sites. We're going to be posting this challenge on Instagram. We have a couple of big followers over there, and they're also going to be sharing that video everywhere to see if you can actually do this. It's not going to be just pertain to YouTube. You're going to be broadcasted everywhere because I want to see this at the end of the day. I mean, if I'm reading something off a website, I'm expecting to get the real deal. If it says on our website our products can be used at 1,000 lumens, guess what? We got demonstrations backing up our products can be used with 1,000 lumens in a max out zone versus certified black paint and white paper and gray screen paint with no problem whatsoever and produce a better image. That's why I do the demonstrations live, because we can back it up. So what you guys haven't backed up yet, house paint. How does house paint compare to your products? We have several different house paints by Sherwin-Williams that would match your products perfectly. We have yet to see these demonstrations. 1 year challenge, have yet to see the demonstration. But today we're going to be talking about the ridiculous nonsense that you posted onto your website and has been there for quite some time. More than enough time for you to go in and clean up the mess. But you didn't do that. You actually added even more propaganda to that nonsense by trying to fool customers and making them believe that 3 100-inch screens would equal a 300-inch physical screen. And this is what we need you to do. We need you to go out and purchase a 300-inch screen. You can get them over at Amazon. We'll put the link below where you can pick up the screen. It's probably about 150 bucks. Take 2 quarts of your product and paint that screen. Now, we know this is not true and this is never going to happen because over here we have a 250-inch screen. Do you have any idea how much paint it took to prime that bad boy? 3 gallons. It took 3 gallons to prime the screen. That is a lot. That screen is literally so big, it takes up the entire shop floor, and we still had to fold it over to paint the other half. And that was just to prime it. Now, and adding the application onto it to actual paint, we're probably thinking about 2 gallons at the most. Probably thinking, but we won't know until we actually physically paint the screen in to see exactly how much we're going to need. Just like when we did the 180-inch I have sitting outside, it took 48 ounces to blow through that screen. But I couldn't just come out there and say 48 ounces. I had to physically paint the screen on camera to show to myself, so I had that information on hand, and to the customers, that's how big a screen we can get out of it. Now, we had a customer paint in a 150-inch screen with 48 ounces, and he was left with half a quart, or half of 48. I'm thinking like, gee whiz, he left with that much. Probably can knock out 180 with that, and that's where we started with that one. Today we're going to see if we can knock out 150 inch with with 32 ounces. We're doing that today. But your theory, you have never painted in the screen. Now, this is why it clearly shows that you have never did a screen size bigger than 180 inch in your home or any place else, due to the fact that basic paint, and you can't go by everybody else's because all paint has different coverage. All of it has different coverage. These individuals are going to go, well, if he did that, I can do that too. No, it doesn't work that way. That's the problem that Partey made when he tried to copy our containers by putting in 48s. Yeah, Partey, we have videos that go back basically recently showing your product at 32, not 48. The problem with the 48, basically, and we've gone through this before, you've jammed up your prices. This is going to cost you more money to fill those containers, and you're going to lose money because each one of those containers give out an extra 16 ounces. I don't want to go into the math again because at the end of the day, these guys are going to end up with a chalkboard, sock puppets, and they're not going to be able to complete the task I can give them at the end of the day. You do not know how to add. Neither one of y'all know how to add at the end of the day. Again, you added 16 extra ounces. So a 120-inch screen is probably going to take somewhere between 32 ounces to complete. But you put in 48. I mean, you gave your customers an extra 16 ounces. That's an extra 16 ounces per each container because it takes 4 of those to actually paint your screen, which comes down to 64 ounces. So you gave away actual 2 quarts of paint in your product. You lost money in that. Didn't do your math correctly. That's where that comes at. You got to learn to add at the end of the day. You don't know how to add. So, with that extra in the containers, because the containers take more paint, they're going to require more product and require more money. Keep in mind, you can't put 2 of those in the medium-sized box. We know what happens. They don't fit. Actually, put 2 in the medium-sized, but you can't put 4. So they got to be transferred over to a large. God forbid if someone ships overseas, that's a lot of money you're going to have to put out compared to a package. It's going to be on if you could put 4 32s into a medium size. We're not going to get into that because that's going to be a lot of math for them. We don't want to confuse them. Let's keep this simple. And I don't have sock puppets on hand, so I can't walk them through. All right, so this right here, gentlemen, is a 250-inch screen. That right there is a 180-inch screen. You guys don't know screen sizes. That's 129, 127, 128. Those odd numbers are 16:10 aspect ratio. Did you know that? You don't know that, do you? All right, let's move on from there. This is for those of you that are learning this is for you guys. I'm talking about Crow and Partey. When I talk this way, don't take it offensively. It's not towards you. It's toward these individuals who do not know how to add at the end of the day. This is a 250-inch screen. So you guys can understand, people that are watching me and you're learning this is not towards you, okay? This is toward Crow and Partey, 2 individuals that do not know how to use math at the end of the day to add a screen up. You cannot take 2 quarts of paint and paint a 300-inch screen. This is 250 inches. There's no way in the world 2 quarts would ever complete this screen. 2 quarts won't even complete a 180-inch screen unless you have a magical screen paint that has extremely good coverage. That is the only way. The reason why we did it at the 48s because the 48s, the screen paint we make, has extremely good coverage. So if you guys are trying to compare yourself to me, you're going to basically, it's going to explode in your face because you don't know what you're doing. Partey has already made that mistake by trying to swap out his containers for the big 48, trying to be like us. And he basically, at the end of the day, you know what he did to himself? There's a word for it, but that's what he did. So he's actually given out, and mind his screen size, he has marked at 120 inches. Do you have any idea how much paint you're going to have left over out of 48 ounces out of a 120-inch screen? Your measurements are off. Now, if you said 150 to 160, but you wouldn't know that unless you physically paint the screen in, because you could have more and less. And you have to go heavy on the screen because, again, you can't do it in your style. You got to do it in their style because some people are going to use a more heavier amount, and you got to make sure you have enough paint left over. So let's show you the fold out real quick. Some of the fold out, just to show you how big this screen is. I'm going to have to back you guys up. That's a big screen. That's the back side of it. That is a screen not even anywhere near fully extended. It's nowhere near. You see that right there? This huge amount of screen I have in here, it's not even fully extended. This is a 250. You had a 300-inch screen. I don't think you knew exactly what you were talking about at the end of the day, but you should have went to Projector Central and you should have got the measurements on how big that screen is going to be. This screen is about 11 feet high. It's the same height as my deck, all the way up to the very edge to the down. That is a big freaking screen. The 180-inch doesn't even reach that height. And you're talking about a 300-inch screen. This is a 250. Mind you, we're not even all the way out extended. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why the stuff you have on your website, your specification sheet, weak. There's nothing in your specification sheet that says anything about your product. You have no shelf life. You have no what's the distance throw. You don't even have any information on basically how to store the product. Nothing in there at all. What caliber projectors? What, you have long throw, short throw. All you have, it works with ultra short throw projectors. That's pretty much it. Why? Because you're only using ultra short throw projectors. Your specification sheet, like I said, it's too light. Your return policy is a freaking joke. You're going to tell people at the end of the day if the product lands on their porch, it's theirs? At the end of the day? Nah. Then he has something at the bottom, like if you have so and so and so, you get a half price off on the product, so and so and so, then you need to put that in your return policy. But you don't have that in your return policy. You have if it lands on your property, it's yours. You haven't changed that. And the reason why he hasn't changed that, because say if you buy his product, say you happen to bump into one of our demonstrations and you see me in there using house paint on his product and it's matching. So you go over to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and you go pick up some paint and you do the same thing. You go, what the freak? Then you go back and contact him and say, look, I use house paint. It matched your product with no problem whatsoever. What's the deal? Can you do me a favor? Can you do the same demonstration for me? Something we've been asking you to do since day one. And he's going to deny it. He's probably going to hang the phone up on you or take a nasty attitude towards you. That's what he's going to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to go file a complaint with PayPal to get your money back. And he's going to sit there and say, hey, look, this is my policy right here. It says if it lands on the property, it's yours. There you go. That's the whole reason why the policy is still there. And that's why he hasn't changed it. So he can fight that against you at the end of the day. And what can you say? You can say, well, I matched this up to house paint. That's pretty much the only leg you have to stand on getting your money back is doing that demonstration against that network gray or any gray screen paint that matches that product. You say, look, I brought this. The guy was misleading on his demonstration. He's using a high-powered projector, which you are using. The customer is not lying because you are using a high-powered projector. If the customer comes in and has a 20,000 to 1 projector contrast level and you're using 2 million, you mean to tell me there's not going to be a difference in that? Yes, there is. There's going to be a huge difference. If that was the case, and I could take a 20,000 to 1 contrast, and I could go in and get the same thing as 2 million, then why would I spend $3,300 for a projector to begin with when I can get it for a projector for far less? There you go. Come on, Skippy. Let's go. Move it up. Come up here, baby boy. Come on. Move. Why is it with you, cat? I don't ever understand with you. That when I come up here to hug you, you're like, get away from me. I'll scratch your eyes out. But yet, you want attention 24/7. But if I get near you, you want to scratch my eyes. I'm going to Freddy Cougar me. You're weird. You're like teenagers. Cats are teenagers at the end of the day. They want to be bothered with, but they don't want to be bothered with. Go to any form site and say, look, I wonder if I got this particular projector, am I going to see a difference? What's the difference between a Sony DPL FH30 and what's the difference between the Optima P2? Which one's better? Which one's going to give you better contrast? Which one's going to give you better color? Ask them that question, and they'll clearly say, "Oh, that projector will. That projector has enhancement to do this, an enhancement to do that. It has all these different capabilities." They're going to tell you all that. There's a huge difference between those two. Are you kidding me? It's the reason why that projector costs that kind of money at the end of the day. So that's why we know at the end of the day that you're using something that you shouldn't be using in your demonstrations. You know that. You know better than that. So you're going to sit there and tell your customers it's quality. It's not quality. It's coming off your machine. Your machine's doing that. But go to any forum site and say, hey, look, I'll ask you a question, guys. What's the difference if I got this particular projector versus this projector? Are they the same? And I go, heck no, they're not the same. Are you kidding me? It's a laser 4K projector. That's 1080p. That projector, what about the contrast? So contrast levels, would it make a difference? Yeah, that screen's going to have a heck of a lot of a different contrast level over the projector you have. So yes, the image that you're seeing in the demonstration, you cannot achieve it. You can't have it. Because again, his projector is doing it, not the screen paint. Where are we at? A cord here somewhere? I'm going to swap this out for the game. I think I'm going to get Tina on. I think I'm going to get her on my PC too. Where you at? Disconnect that out of that. We have too much going on. Hold on, people. Okay, that's what I need to do. Check this out for a minute. And we need something over here. I hope they got a Death Player match on there. I hope they do. I am dying to do a Death Player match. I don't know why they don't. They should have it on it, but I don't know why they wouldn't have it on there. And we got to zoom up for this one. That's why I showed you the screen downstairs. So you see how big a 250 inch? It's a very, very big screen. Biggest screen I painted inside of the house was 200 inches. That screen was massive. I had to basically tightrope the screen, which means the screen was so big when we laid it on the floor, we had about that much away from the physical floor and the wall between the screen. So I had to tightrope that screen. Walk around the edges of it to get it to set it up. And that screen, when I went to go lift it up, it was like lifting the side of a barn. That's how it was. That's how big the screen was. It was like literally lifting the size of a barn. It was that big. Okay. So what we got going on back here with all these cables on where? So here you are. This is what I was looking for. I know I had flat HDMI cables in here somewhere. I knew I had them in here. Someone couldn't figure out where they're at. Now, this is what I tell you, that you have to be truthful on your site. Anything I have, gentlemen, feel free to go through my website and pick it out. I got demonstrations to match everything. Matter of fact, I said a few minutes ago, we just did a demonstration on 1,000 lumens downstairs for fun. Something that we're going to give you guys a challenge at the end of the day to do. Stuff we keep asking you to do over and over and over again, you don't seem to want to do it. But yet you want to be on here ranting and carrying on about everybody else's stuff at the end of the day. So these are challenges we're going to be giving you. Now, can you back up what's on your website? Same thing for Part A. Can you back up on your website? Is your website telling the truth, or are you just sitting here lying to people about this whole? And I would, like I said, I would pay money to see this. A 300-inch screen. You're going to do a 300-inch screen with 2 quarts of paint. That's got to be some heck of a magic paint right there at the end of the day. Some Harry Potter paint. There's no way in the world you're pulling that off. Oh, we got to do it to this change again. Hold on for a minute, people. Oh, well, that would help, Bird. That would definitely help at the end of the day. I think that would definitely work if you had your HDMI cables attached in there. There we go. We're going to be on the opposite side of that one, are we not? So we got to put them in that way. All right, then we'll just use these right here. Right there. Oh, please don't let it rain today, because I want to be outside. I want to get up there and I want to play some Borderlands outside. Right now, they got Borderland freaking forum sites popping up all over the place, and I plan to be on one with these giant screens. Okay. We're going to do the other HMIs. Let's grab these instead. Sorry about that, people. The HDMI cables we have here are kind of bent. We have them like on a bent. This is when we have to have projectors laying against the wall, and they're made like this so they can fit against the wall a little closer. We can push our projectors back. The problem is they're kind of hard to fit into certain areas because if there's anything blocking the way, they won't fit in nicely. And we'll have to go through that problem. There we go. Boom. We're still in portrait mode. Actually, I'm doing this one, so let's come at this real quick. Turn this to the side, because like I said, I got business coming up on my accounts. We don't show any that. I keep my company's information very, very private. Okay, let me see. We had somebody right here stating they're concerned about shipping. Did I just sit there and say on camera we ship anywhere in the world for free? Now, keep in mind, if you want something like special, some people want some special shipping, we don't pay for that. If it's United States Postal Service, we do, all right? But keep in mind, I'm not going to basically break the bank over shipping screen. United States, UPS and FedEx, to ship something overseas by them is very expensive. If you want that shipping, you can offer to pay for the shipping yourself, not a problem at all. But like I said, we do offer free shipping through the United States Postal Service, we do. But if you decide you want to do something else, if you want to pay for the shipping, go ahead, but we're not going to pay for that. It costs too much money as it is, but I'm already paying already. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to zoom up, and the reason why we're going to zoom up, because this is a person who has very unprofessional. He goes into these really serious, nasty rants. And that also something too, Crow, we're going to be posting on a couple of sites. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm your customer when I purchase from you and contact you and talking to you, and you went into these nasty rants. I told you don't do stuff like this, because stuff like this can be held against you, and you're going to be posted. We're going to put down customer support by Crow, and yeah, you're not making it up. That's you doing it to yourself. That was your customer support, how you carried yourself. Curse words, profanity, all that stuff. Yeah, you did it to yourself. That's why I tell people, at the end of the day, keep your personal feelings someplace else when you do business with people. That's what you have to do. Keep your business to yourself. And like I said, at the end of the day, you need to go in and fix these problems, and you should be fixing these problems, but he's not, because some people are extremely stubborn. I mean, they'll literally go down with the ship at the end of the day because they don't want to admit that they made these mistakes. And you did make a mistake. That's a very, very big mistake. There is no way in the world you're going to be able to do this at all. Even if we gave you a challenge, we know you can't do that. There's no way in the world. Like I said, that would have to be some incredible magic paint to do that. I would pay to see this. Literally would pay to see this. Now that'd be the best magic show. If you pull that off, I swear, you need to quit screen paint and you need to get a job working in magic. Really. Because that would be so impressive to see something like that. So we're going to go over into shop. He's ranting right now. So remind you, why are you ranting? You posted this to your website. If I posted to my website that my paint has the ability to allow you to find gold at the end of the day, and somebody catches me on that and busts me on that, how am I going to be mad at them? I wrote it. So at the end of the day, that's you. Buddy, we can't even see you. We're zoomed in. We can't even see your comments. All right. Let's go over here. That's one quart shop here. That's where we put the zoom in so we can block out his ignorant comments. He still has it there. Dude, remember we came back and he still has it there. Oh my goodness, such misleading. It'd be different if we busted him on this nonsense, these lies on this website, and say he goes and he changes it. It's still there. 2 quarts of this mix will cover up to a 300-inch screen. The total of three screens of 100 inches. Anybody? He literally believes this. This has been there since last year. Now I thought if we came in a while and we talked about this, if we came in again, he would have changed this. Anybody would have changed this, but it's still there. Jamie, I'm explaining something to you about math, okay? There is no way in the world that 2 quarts of paint are going to be able to fill in a 300-inch screen. You can't add. I hate to be rude to people, but you can't add, and nor can you spell. How would that even be possible? Where? On what planet would that be possible? My room in here, my screen's 144 inches. My room in here, no one would walk into this room and go, oh, 2 quarts of paint this screen. Most people would go for a gallon. Even if they overshoot, they still would go with a gallon. You'd be surprised. People can walk into a bathroom. I have a pretty small bathroom. People can walk into a bathroom and go, it'll be a gallon. I guarantee you. Because they would never say 2 quarts. Now, if they were painting something like a piece of furniture or something like, no, they'd still go with a gallon. Yes, they would. Because better safe than sorry. I mean, if you got extra paint, big deal. You seal it up, put it in your basement, use it for later on. But no one's going to walk into it and say, oh, no, 2 quarts. Again, I told you I couldn't make it up. I could not make it up. Clearly says it right here on his website. Look at the specification sheet. Specification sheet is so freaking light. You know why he doesn't have anything on the specification sheet? Because the screen paints don't require much testing. That's all. There's no testing of his products. What is he going to put down? Honestly. What can he possibly put down on his site at all? Any testing? I can't read this again. I swear, every time I read this, I swear I think I'm losing brain cells. I seriously think I'm losing brain cells. I need my brain cells. This is crazy. You ever read through his website before? For those of you who've read through his website and still made a purchase at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but I have to say this at the end of the day. I can't even put you in the category of Forrest Gump at the end of the day. Forrest Gump would be smarter than you. You talk about sites. That's why when PayPal went through his site, they sat there and said that the site looked suspicious because your site doesn't look like a normal site. You have so much information. This is called a summary, what you just posted right here. This is not a specification sheet. You're supposed to have color. You're supposed to have basically explaining what the different, which if you have something like ambient rejection, which you don't have ambient rejection technology at all, period, you don't have it on there. Your measurements are way off. There's no way in the world 2 quarts is going to paint in 300-inch screen. It's not going to happen. A total of 3 screens. That's the Wile E. Coyote math. When he first started off, it was just 300. When I first read it, I was like, wait a minute. Did he just write that there? That can't be right. Who writes that in there? And he wrote it in there, literally. Crow, you know we can't see that, right? We really can't see that. Your demonstration, we can't see that. What you're posting over there. But good luck, though. Anyway. And don't worry about buying the gun. Yeah, you can buy the gunmetal. Go buy it right now. We've been telling you for what? How have we been telling him? Since yesterday. Go buy the paint. Go buy it. Buy that. And while you're at it, like I said, do the rest of the demonstrations which we requested. We requested for you to do a demonstration with Network Gray 773. The 1-year challenge, which you need to swap your projector out for 1 year. So he's talking right now over here on the other side. He's carrying on, but we're going to request him. He doesn't, for some reason, doesn't want to do it. You want to test our stuff at the end of the day? I got no problem with you testing our product at the end of the day, but I need for you to do your product against Network Gray 773, which you need to test it out. He's listening. He's probably in the room somewhere. Hey, Pigeon. We call him Pigeon because we can't call you Crow. Your product's not black. Pigeon. Let me explain something to you real quick. Let's put it this way. Fernando Gonzalez. You need to understand. You need to do a 1-year test on your product, which means you need to remove your P2 projector from the environment. Do you understand? So you can show to your customers that your screen paint is doing the work. Also, too, we want a challenge of this right here. I definitely have a challenge right here. Challenges you have set up for you. You need to do the challenge of your product. Again, Network Gray 773, the deleted video that you removed off your account with 2, 3, 4, and 5. Also, to test against the digital and crystal screen paint, because I said your product is around 9 years old. Also, 2 demonstrations of a 1-year swap out, which means you must remove your projector from the environment, switch over to a 720p projector of 1,000 lumens, 13 to 14 feet back, and a meter max out zone for 1 year. All demonstrations must be done in a fully lit environment. Another demonstration I'm dying to see is this one right here. I wanted to see you paint a 300-inch screen with 2 quarts of paint. I also too want to see you take 300-inch screens and make a 300-inch screen. So until you get that done, we have nothing to say. Move on. So I said at the end of the day, they want to test their products, test their products, test their products. But if you want my products, you buy from my website. If you ain't got the money, it's not my problem. Go buy it. You're not getting no breaks or anything. Buy the products. Look, he told me move on. We gave him the test. He said move on. Look, let me show you right here. Look. He told us to move on. When we gave him, he's listening. He's hearing. He's listening what we're saying. We just told him what he had to do, and he told us to move on. All right, we already know from the door you can't do it. Bye-bye. It's Crow, we can't, no one can see what you're saying. All right, so right here you can see this is completely false right here. There's no way in the world he's going to be able to do this, but we need to see this. If someone's going to post something on the website, mind the consumers coming here, all jokes aside, if the consumers come in here to read this at the end of the day, they should know that the information that they're getting off the website is legit and not fake. This is clearly fake. There is no way in the world you're going to be able to do this, which shows you at the end of the day, this individual does not know what he's talking about. And no way in the world you call yourself a professional if you really think that 2 quarts of your paint are going to be to paint in a screen size of that caliber. Not going to even happen. We couldn't even do it at 250, keep in mind. So this is one of the challenges we're going to ask him to do today. He can pick up the screen over at, we'll post a link. We can actually get a 300-inch screen in for $150. Those are the ones we buy downstairs that we coat. So I would love to be able to see that. Okay, still basically over to whining and crying. Okay, we gave him the challenges. There's only one for the day. If you look at the website, this is all he has for his specifications. That's it. This mix is my favorite. Again, no capitals here. Not supposed to be in the middle. Now, what you doing with that? One of my favorite mixes. It will give you well-balanced picture. What is well-balanced picture? What do you mean by well-balanced picture? Can you explain what well-balanced picture is? From your ultra short throw projector. What about long throw? What about LED? What about DLP? What about laser? All that? No, he's only basing off one thing he's tested off. It works best with 2200 lumens. I have not seen do a lot of tests on 2200 lumen projectors, mostly on a 3000 lumen ultra short throw, so really can't put that in there. You're going to have to at least have about 30 of these on this particular 2200 lumen projectors to show that you've tested just about everything. And we're talking about contrast, color, outdoor, indoor, all that stuff. You're going to have to do all those demonstrations to show that at the end of the day. What tests have you done on 2200 lumen projectors? Haven't seen that at all. And up. Test it with 1080p and 4K. Great with some light environments. Light environments. No, not from what we've seen in the demonstrations or your demonstrations sit in the dark. Some light environments. Did we not just watch a demonstration of this man turning 2 lights on in the environment and then turning them off and then matching a white screen? He matched a white screen in that demonstration. No, that's not true, Crow. That's a lie. 2 quarts of my mixes will cover up to a 300-inch screen. We all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. A total of 3 100-inch screens. Now, what I find hard about this guys have painted quite a few 100-inch screens. How would you even think that 3 100-inch screens, 4x7s, would fit a 300-inch screen physically? That's the part that baffles me right there. It's really, 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 I don't want to call them stupid, but you know what you're thinking in the back of your mind. That's pretty stupid to even make that claim. That wouldn't even match. You couldn't, like I said, you couldn't stack it this way. You got 3 times 4 is 12. That screen is 12 feet 3 inches. So no, that's not going to work. And you can't stack it this way because you'll still be missing the top part of that, of the screen, because now your screen's only 4 feet high and 3 times 7 is 21. You still didn't even reach the length of the screen. So no, that is not going to work. Looking down here, this is his refund policy. Now he's over there ranting about refunds. This is your refund policy, Crow, and he hasn't changed this at all. Refunds, returns and refund policy, once the product is delivered. Again, you can't spell. I've told you, I've showed him multiple times how to go in and fix this problem. If you don't want to pay for a spelling checker, all you got to do is go through email, you go through your Hotmail, and when you go through your Hotmail, it automatically has a spelling checker. Just drop everything in there and it'll correct what you need to fix, and then you can come out and copy and paste that to your page. That's what you can do. This is an easy fix. He just refuses to do it, to fix it. It's like this on every single page. Every single page, just like this. No returns. So it's just like I told you before, say if you happen to pop in one of our demonstrations, you happen to see that network gray matching, and you go, and you go over to Home Depot or Lowe's, you pick up some gray paint and it happens to match the screen, and you call him and say, hey, look, I got this product over here. It's matching your product the same way. What's going on? Have you done these tests already? He can't say yes because he hasn't done them, because there's no videos of it, because the person's going to search for it. So yes, person's going to go and he's going to file a complaint against them. And like I said, he's going to say, well, look, I delivered the product. This is what it says on my policy. This is what he agreed to. That's why he's not going to change it at all, period. It's always going to be that way, because due to the fact this is his way of protecting himself, just in case you find out if his paint's a complete lie. Now, like I said, he can back it up. All he has to do is go in and just simply do the demonstration with the network gray. We just did a demonstration on what downstairs? On a 1,000 lumen projector in a max out zone. Now, if I could do my product against black paint and the network gray and white screen and a certified screen and drop it at 1,000 lumens in that environment and still produce a better image, what's the hold up with you guys? What's the problem? Policy down here. Now, this is none of my business. Like I said, $70 surcharge. That's his business. What he wanted to charge for overseas, that's none of my business. I don't charge $70 surcharge fees to my customers. I figure my customers are automatically spending the money already for my product. Why am I going to charge you extra for shipping? That's my personal opinion right there. But to each his own or his end. But this is virtually impossible. You're never going to be able to do this at all, period. I'm pretty sure anybody with some kind of common sense would see that and go, no, that's not going to happen. Because if anybody else falls into this nightmare trap, keep in mind the average person who's painting a screen of 300 inches is not putting this in their home unless you've got a really, really big house to put that in there. I had a 200-inch screen, and that screen was massive inside the house. A 250 downstairs, I don't have any place in the house could actually hold that screen. It has to be done outside. So anyone's doing a screen this size is probably doing it for an event. Could be a backyard, could be wedding, whatever, that they need the screen. Chances are they probably got rented a sound crew or whatever they set up. They got their projector. And most people at the end of the day will have a painter come in and do a screen that size. The painter's going to look at that and go, no, that's not going to happen. You don't have enough paint to cover this screen. You need to go back and have a conversation with the individual who sold you this product, and you need to get the right amount of paint needed. And he's going to ask the painter, so how much paint do you think? And he's going to tell him, you need so and so and so to paint this screen. So what's going to happen? He's going to come back and he's going to contact you, Jamie, and he's going to say, and knowing the information he already knows in his head, he's not going to tell you. He wants to see where your mindset's at the end of the day. Some customers will test you like that. And you what are you going to say? You're going to basically think, okay, well, maybe I was off maybe 3 quarts. Maybe you don't know. You literally don't know at all. You could at least started off with a gallon on this one, but you started off with 2 quarts. So you're going to come up short. So yeah, he's going to tell you what the painter told you, and he's going to tell you, I need that product here. The problem is that usually people who paint screens of this size, or they're using it for venues and events, don't usually paint the screen in a week ago. They usually paint the screen in, and I know from experience, they will paint that screen in either that day or the night before, because they want the screen to be crisp when they put it up. That's what they want. And he's going to come up short, which means he's not going to have enough paint to cover. Or your product's not going to work at all. We have a church right now that's displaying a screen that's not working. I get a lot of your customers that will come over here and complain that they do not want to be in a dark environment. If they shed any light in the environment, the screen washes out. This is why we tell people don't use high-end projectors. You hear that clicking back and forth? That's him over there just ranting. We're not paying him any mind. Bye-bye. I'm not speaking to him. He's just ranting. So basically, he knows what's going on while we're on the site. But look, man, you need to go in and you need to fix this mess, because you're misleading people. Then he says, please be aware to use a paint sprayer for this to work. You have to use a paint sprayer for this to work. Both our screen paints are based roll-on and spray-on. The only time we have a screen paint that requires a spray-on only, unless it's a transparent screen. This is something you can't use with a roller because you can actually leave marks on the screen. In mine, this is an image that's pushing through on the opposite side. But the product you're using is a house paint at the end of the day. And you're telling people that they have to use a sprayer. This is where this is going to become a problem, and I tell you why. When you spray a screen inside the house, we advise you always spray them outside. Always make sure you have a mask and glasses on. This is information he doesn't even have here. He should have here when you're talking about operating a paint sprayer. When you operate a paint sprayer in your house, it becomes airborne, which means it turns into a form of a fine mist. This fine mist will coat to furniture, floors, your carpet, everywhere. You're going to have to plastic wrap the inside of your house to make sure none of that transfers to the furniture, especially if you have small pets or you have kids that are constantly sticking their fingers in their mouth, or dogs and cats are sniffing. This stuff becomes airborne. Now, if you're required to wear a mask when you're doing this, and you should, anytime you paint any kind of paint, I don't care if it's basically oil-based or non-oil-based or water-based, you always wear a mask because it always can become airborne and this could get into your lungs. So even though it might not cause any damage, like I said, you never know, don't take chances. Safety glasses, definitely should be wearing safety glasses depending on how big the screen is. If the screen hovers over top of you, yeah, you are advised to wear safety glasses. If you're first time spraying, I've been spraying for quite a few times, so I know definitely where to direct this paint at, where it's not going to hit me in the face. I know how to do this, but if you're first time doing this, you should wear safety glasses. I learned this the hard way. First time getting my first paint sprayer, I had a screen in the house that was over 8 feet high. I went to take the paint sprayer, I shot it up, it bounced off the freaking screen, came down and shot right in my face. So yeah, I had to wash my eyes out because of that nonsense. So I learned this from experience. Your paint screen's bigger than you, first time painting the screen, you should always wear safety glasses. This information should be here on his site, and he doesn't have it there. I'll show you. Now we'll come back over here. We'll go over to Marketplace Buy here now. All right, we'll go into our, you hear that clicking? He's still there talking. We're in another page, he's still talking. We'll go over here where it says our products are here. All right. Now, when you come in here, this is what you'll see on our page right here. As we come up, you see the product right there. See the demonstrations we have on display? When we tell you our screen's weatherproof, we can back up our products weatherproof. We have screens displayed out in the snow, displaying snow. All right, so we got all that good stuff. Inside the house, we got them at big screens right here. You can see them right there, there, and there. Multi-displays, all this stuff, because we got videos that back up everything we do. All right, so let's go down to the bottom right here, right here. You see the information right there. This is a specification sheet. This is what you're supposed to be seeing. You have category, class, name of the product, the gain of the product. What does ADV stand for? It stands for advanced. This is all the stuff we have. What type of product? This is a roll-on or spray-on. Tell you what kind of screen paint it is. Your viewing information, 190-degree viewing angle, which we have that to back up inside and outside. Then the demonstrations on ultra short throw projectors without a narrow viewing cone effect. He doesn't explain to you anything about a narrow viewing cone effect. We talk about this in demonstrations all the time. What is the color of the product? This is a black screen. It's not gunmetal and it's not dark gray. So it tells you it's actually black. Then it gives you a bit of some information right here. Right here, white level capabilities, all that information should be there. Paint on applications, paint sprayer best recommended by our choice, Wagner 250. This is what we like to use. It's friendly for our customers. Please note, when using a paint sprayer, please use well-ventilated area, which information you should have had there on the site, but you did not, he failed to put there. Ventilated area, let's see right here, notice well-ventilated area with safety glasses and safety painter mask. This is information that needs to be put on the site. You have some people, even though they should know this, may not know this at the end of the day. So your site is there to educate them and help them along the way. You need to have that information. Your specification sheet, I said, it's too light. So someone painting this screen may have some problems with the paint. You have to have information like well-ventilated area, put a mask on, and safety glasses. Because, you want to make sure. Also, two ventilated area, segment one coat, no primer needed. If not a fabric, so if you're using a fabric, explains to you that you must put 2 coats on with the fabric. If you're using a fabric surface, on even areas, Please note that when painting, carry 2 coats of primer will be used, and we need it. Yeah, right there. Surfaces for an even layer surface for using our screen paint products. Best used with a nap roller. Did he explain any kind of roller you're supposed to use with it? It should be told. Some people go out and get a foam roller and mess the screen up, because you will streak the daylights out of your screen by doing so. So we put that there. For larger screens, use a larger nap roller. They make nap rollers in 12s and make them in huge, massive, bigger ones for using larger applications, or you can spray the screen in. It says right here, do not use brushes or foam rollers. Make sure you put that information out there. You'd be surprised how many people have literally tried to paint a screen with a brush. So you have to put everything out there. You have to think in the mind of the customer. All right, this will damage and mark your screen. Low odor, he doesn't have it on there. Low VOC, doesn't have it. Eco-friendly, 100% water-based. This is extremely important, because if you have companies that are going to be spraying this to a screen, especially, they need to know if this is oil-based or water-based. They have to know this. He doesn't have that information on there. Drying time, 30 minutes with a fan, depending on the size of the screen. We do a lot of dry-on demonstrations. Very important. Do a lot of panel demonstrations on that. Clean up. He doesn't even have that on the website. How do you clean it up? Well, we have warm water and soap and mild soaps. Keep in mind, this will not come off clothes when dried. Get that information out there. You already know, don't wear brand new clothes when you paint anyway. But even though we know they may know that, we still have to add that in there. And again, at the bottom, we put again, use in well ventilated area with safety glasses and safety masks. We repeat that in there for the customers. This is why I tell you to read through the specifications. All this is in here for you. Proper storage for products. The screen paint has a 5-year shelf life. If stored and sealed properly, please store in room temperature areas. You have to have that in there, because you'll have some people that will stick paint behind a freaking heater or a radiator, and yeah, you may have some problems out of that. So make sure it's in a room temperature area. You want to have it in a nice cool area. Screen sizes. This is what screen size we did change out to 180 inch, because we're going to get the 180 inch, but this is the size we have right here. Paint on surfaces. Does he have what kind of surfaces you can paint on? No. Right here. Or micro mesh or micro mesh. Please note, when spraying mesh or micro mesh or any kind of sound or light acoustic surface, this is for those of you who don't damage that acoustic surface. We don't want people thinking that they can use that paint to spray it onto an acoustic surface. You will damage it. We have acoustic surfaces screen products that we already sell that are already pre-coated. We already picked out the surface for you. We did have one, we had a paint that you can spray on, but customers were not their fault, but they were spraying it on surfaces that were non-acoustic. They thought they were acoustic and they weren't, and the sound was coming out muffled. So better yet, we pick out the surface. It'll be 100% acoustic. We spray it for you, and then we ship it to you. That way you don't have to worry about what kind of surface to get, if it's going to work right or whatever. We take all the guesswork out of that. So that's why we put this down here. We read this right here where it says, spraying at any surface or any kind of sound or light acoustic surface. Keep in mind, light acoustic surface. Sound will no longer transfer through, only display, only pop up. So make sure you don't do that. This is all the stuff that you can paint we have on here, all the information. Do not use on stucco or polyester tarp. I showed you what happened with polyester tarp. The product lifts off the surface when we use that. And again, clean with warm water and soap. Basic information, which you're going to need right here. We use with 3D projectors, no calibrated needed, no ambient light controlled environments. This is all the information you're supposed to have. He doesn't have. Front projection only. That some people, like I said, they'll take this stuff, they'll paint this on plexiglass thinking it's front and rear. No, it's front only. So that way you see it there, front only. All this information has to be put down there. Outside information. He doesn't have outside information because he doesn't do any outside demonstrations. No, not at all. Fully weatherproof, which we all know that. Screen says the rain, snow, sleet, whatever. We got pictures out in snow and all that stuff like that showing this fully weatherproof. Best used outside with 4,000 lumens, which we use the projectors at 4,000 lumens on a 180-inch screen, 150-inch screen, and so forth. Let's see, hours between 6 and 7. This is something that's very important that you have on your site. What time does your screen activate? What are the hours that it activates in? When is the best time to use the screen? That you have to put in there, because we have some people that try to activate a screen at 12 o'clock. Not going to work at 12 o'clock. We have special paint for that works at 12 o'clock, but that's not going to work at 12 o'clock. All right, colors will not fade when exposed to sunlight or outside elements. People ask, the screen's being hit with sun, is it going to fade? It's going to have any issues with that. Will not crack and peel in freezing or cold temperatures. Have to have all that. I don't know how that's going to work for those people who live in. Well, you can do that. If you live in a warm state that doesn't get snow, they're called freezers. You stick them in freezers. Do not use them to knock off projectors. All this information is right here. Projectors that we support, right there. What we done, all the information, all this stuff right here, the summary, and the summary is the last thing you have under the specification sheet. Of course, you must have that keep out of reach of children and pets, but this is all you get. That's why I told you that his site was, his specification sheet, too light. All you have is, this is my mix, my favorite, one of my I breathe brain cells every time I come here. One of my favorites of all of my mixes. It will give you well balanced picture. Again, that's oblivious. What are you talking about by that? From your ultra short throw projector. From your ultra short throw projector. What if I have a long throw projector? What if I'm using short throw projector? You just said from your ultra short throw, which means the only thing you test your product on is an ultra short throw projector. You have nothing else there. It works best with 2200 lumens and up. Like I said, you don't have enough demonstrations to put that one up there. With 1080p and up, don't have enough with that one because you do a lot of demonstrations on that ultra short throw projector. 4K, great with some ambient light environments. 2 quarts of my mix, of this mix, will paint up to a screen size of 300 inches. That's completely lie. We already know that from the door. Equivalence of 3 screens of 100 inches, complete lie right there. This right here with the paint sprayer only, that is, we should have put in the paint sprayer only. You should have put well ventilated area. You should have put down that how the especially if they're gonna be painting it inside a well ventilated area. But yeah, no. On top of that, you're gonna have to wrap literally everything in plastic, because you have it down here, it can only be used with a paint sprayer. That's not good. And on top of that, reason why people are going to back away from that, because some people may be intimidated by a paint sprayer. That's why we have a roll-on application. This is why when I do demonstrations involving spray-ons, I tell people right from the door that, look, this is going to be a spray-on application. You need to be a professional to use this. At the end of the day, you don't want to mess up your screen. This is going to be a professional kit for certain people that can use the particular caliber of sprayers. That's why we put that in there, because I don't want someone buying it and being too close to the screen. You don't know how to dust the screen with a paint sprayer. You're going to have not streak marks, but you're going to have blots, like these heavy spots on your screen. That comes from standing too long in one spot while you're squeezing the trigger. Yeah, it's you're gonna mess it up. So, like I said, that's why we have the roll-on applications. The pictures we have here are complete false. This picture right here, as I told you, in the dark, completely in the dark, as you can see. That's the only way you can pull a contrast level. This is crazy. You don't have anything in here. All fake demonstration. Look at that dark environment. Got a Christmas tree sitting next to it to try to brighten up the environment. This is misleading. This is why we haven't told them to remove the projector out of the environment. Again, a 2 million to 1 contrast ratio on that projector is going to pick up a darker shade of gray than on a projector that has a 20,000 to 1. So all this is coming from the P2, not coming from the screen paint at all. That's why you won't remove the projector. Let's go over here to the shop over here. Let's look at the other specifications on here we have on here. So that right there was the 2 quarts. We all know that's a complete lie. You're definitely not going to be able to do that at a 2 quarts. Your people, you can't paint a 300-inch screen. Don't even try it. You waste your money. All right. This is the specification sheet here. That's it. I'm going to tell you something. I don't like to call people lazy at the end of the day. Fernando Gonzalez, you are an extremely lazy human being at the end of the day. What the heck is that? You don't have enough information here. What is this? You don't have enough information here at all. You have this projection screen. This projector screen mix is my lightest of the batch. It's now they're using batch. You see they're using batches now? We use batch to show you this is our product. Now they're using batches. First it was mixes, now it's batches. I tell you, they copy everything we do. Everything we do, they copy batches. Now, him and Partey are both using batches now. But you guys, at the end of the day, I see where it comes from. Look, we know what it is already. My screen paint products are the best. And you guys know it. It is. Our products demonstrations are unmatched. You know that. You guys need me at the end of the day to try to sell your products. That's what it is. You have to try to challenge me. But at the end of the day, like I said, we consider you guys to be nothing more than gnats, fruit gnats. Our attentions are toward the black diamonds and all this companies because we can compete with them. You can't at the end of the day. So every time I turn around, I notice you guys are taking certain keywords that we use and trying to incorporate it into whatever you say or whatever you do because you want to be us at the end of the day. That's where the jealousy comes in at. But I'm flattered. Thank you so much. I'm really flattered. As I partake, try to use a 48 ounce, that was a bad idea. Now they're using batches now. We started the batch. I didn't want to use batches. I told you that the demonstrations we have on the digital crystal screen paint, those demonstrations were copied. Yeah, they were copied. We're going to talk about that, how they're doing our demonstrations from way back. But look at this. Look how light this specification sheet is. Can you imagine if you were basically buying a projector and that was it for the specification sheet? You're like, what the freak is the... That's it? Or if you were buying a car and that was it, that's it. It goes room, 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 and that's it. The freak? Yeah, this is it. This is just specification sheet. You're buying on a product that's supposed to have all these high-tech capabilities, and it's supposed to be a professional product, but this is all they have. They don't even have storage. Simple. Where's the eco-friendly? Any of that on there? Nothing. Projection screen paint is my lightest. Of the batches. It makes it ideal for dark environments with lower lumens. Perfect for, and I don't know why you keep putting capitals in the middle of your sentence. Perfect for 1080p and 4K and 3D. One core covers up to a 35-inch screen. You put and. It doesn't need to be in there like that. Okay. That's why I said you need to go in. And this is it. Covers up to, and let me see something here. You spelled court wrong there. That's spelled wrong. And you put an I there instead of a 1. So that right there, that's been like that. Keep in mind, it's been like that since last year. So it's nothing new. The site looks very unprofessional. And let's see, covers up to a 35-inch screen. Well, let me tell you something there, Skippy. Unless you physically paint it in a 135-inch screen, because I've had 3 of them here, and they're big screens. These are very big screens. Unless you physically paint that screen in with 1/4 of that paint, you can't put that there. You can't. And you got to put it in heavy. What I mean by heavy, you got to pour it in heavy. So you got to act like, you know, a customer's never painted a screen before. They're always going to add it heavy. You have to make sure they're going to have enough paint left over. And I doubt that. So I think you need to go in and redo that, do a demonstration on that, because that's a complete lie until you can actually back it up. What is going on with this? Why do you have a capital here for 1, and then court, you have a capital here, capital there. You should capital center. Why is this even there to begin with? You have 2 capitals here. And okay. I swear, I just want to run this through a freaking spelling checker so bad. You have no idea. I just want to go in there and fix this site right now. Maybe it's just me. I just want to fix this site for you. Hey, Crow, give me your password. I'll fix your site for you. I'll fix it for you. Now, keep in mind, at the end of the day, you have to understand, people. You got people out there who, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just fix your site, man, because it looks pretty bad at the end of the day. I'm telling you this not to bust on you. Reason why I'm going to your site, Crow, because you have false information in your site. Now, that whole misspelling thing, you could fix that. That's easy. But you putting stuff in your site that's not true, you need to either back that up through a demonstration, or you need to pull it from the website so you're not misleading people at the end of the day. You're saying it covers up to a 35-inch screen. You physically need to paint that in. But all these errors you have in here, you need to fix this, because people will go into your site and look at this, and they're thinking, gee whiz, if this person can't spell at the end of the day, and your information, some of it definitely someone knows what they're talking about, is coming up incorrect, they're not going to buy from you, because you look straight illiterate at the end of the day. You do. You can go in and fix this, and I showed them how to go in and fix it. Simple and easy, but you know why he won't do it? Some people have a lot of pride in life. That's what they have. And this is it. You have no return policy. There's no policy. There's nothing. A lot of you not. You think I'm joking? Look at this. That's it. Under the page. There's no return. There's no tracking. Nothing at all. Lazy. This is lazy. This is being sheer lazy. And in fact, it's been like this since last year. We can go back and show you videos from last year. Same thing. There's nothing there at all. Completely different. What pictures do you have up here under your product? Again, sitting in the dark. If you're telling people that your product works in some ambient light environments, what do you mean by some? We don't work in some. That we don't use the word some in our demonstration. So I don't know how you're comparing yourself to us. We don't use some. See, a lot of neon. This is all you got. Now I told you about pictures being too close to the screen. Yeah. And this right here is an old container. This is a metal container. You don't even have these anymore. Your containers are plastic. So you didn't even have enough, too lazy to take a background drop. It's easy. Take a background drop, you put a box underneath of it, you take your items, you put them on top of it, get a good lighting from it, and you snap some pictures. That's all you got to do. Update your freaking pictures. This is old right here. See right here, look. See all that information right there you got to read through? Mind you, look at this. He doesn't even have information on his policy account. His policy section over here on this side basically is our policy right there. His policy is way too light. See that? Yeah, that's done. Nice background to it. It's just right here. I had to take several, whatchamacallit, to get the lighting just right, so to take the pictures. Those are the containers right there. All right, let's go over here. Then we have the color option right here, which people are saying they can't find the, okay, people, this is how you find it. It's very simple. You go into the website, you come right here. This is what it's going to ask you for right here. See right here, one here, one there. That's what's how it's going to pop up, so you can find it. Because that means I have to go in and I have to set up whole other shopping carts outside of this one, and then take picture and go when it's right there. All right, so let's go back over here real quick. But that's where it's at. Right there. Sorry about that, people. Didn't mean to yawn on you like that. All right, let's go over here and let's go pop over to no, there's no information in that one. That was so light, unbelievable. Let's see if we get anything more in this one over here. This is the ID mix. I would love to see this next to Network CROWS1173. It would blend so easily. This is a customer demonstration. I literally thought that was him. I thought that was him, but that's a customer's demonstration. Look how dark the environment is. Because you know that's not CROWS setup. CROWS setup is nowhere near like that. That's a customer. So that's where your customers have to be at, trapped in the dark. Because they try to use that screen in a fully lit environment, it'll wash out. Yeah, it speaks for itself. Customer demonstration. Look at the size of the screen, Crow. Fully lit environment. They got their Apple TV hooked up to that. I like that display on Apple TV. That's one way when I get one of those. Not in the dark. These are my customers. Here you go. So that light in the environment, now sitting in the dark. They do the same thing we do in our demonstrations. Here's another one over here. This one came off of Facebook. This is them showing the screen with the lights on and off. See how they show the whole screen? They back up and they show the whole screen, the whole environment, because they want to mimic the same thing we're doing in our demonstrations, where I guarantee in your demonstrations, you're probably telling your customers how you want them to display the screens. Well, you have to use with this, you have to be in a dark environment. Yeah, I guarantee you. If you want, I can give you a challenge against my $60 ultra short throw projector on screen size. My $60 projector versus your P2. Screen size has to be more than 130 inches in a fully lit environment. Can't do that one either. Oh, we got to post that one too. Let's see. We got those demonstrations out real quick. Let me see. This is gray screen paint products when we put them against black technology. Look how badly they wash out. All right, let's go over here real quick. Let's get you one more. Here we go. You talking about giant screen sizes? There you go. This is on our this is on our introduction page right here. This is a company that liked their product so much they did a tribute video for us. That is the size of their screen, over 1,000 inches. And that's what we did to their screen. That one demonstration by itself wipes out any demonstration by any of your customers easily. That's over 1,000 inches. See the size of those stadium lights up there? Yeah. I don't see you with anything like that. Yeah, that's my customers right there. Then we go back to yours, and this is yours, sitting in the dark, as always. Your product does exactly what it does. It keeps you in the dark. That's what it does. We did this demonstration outside called the 1100 Lumen Challenge, which was never met. It was never ever met. All right, so let's go past and see what we got here for product specification sheets here. Good gracious, that's it? This is just your product specification sheet. That's it. Actually, look at this, only 2 paragraphs. You're lazy, man. You are really freaking lazy. You mean to tell me that is your product specification sheet? IB Personal Mix is great for movies and gaming. Is perfect. Is perfect. Is perfect. Movies and gaming is perfect for those light controlled environments. I mean, you're challenging my technology, and your stuff is light. We all know it's light controlled. We don't use light controls over here at all, period. Lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. That's it. Let's see, light controlled, and it will, good gracious, I swear. Deep breath, Ken. Peter Parker, pick the pecker, pick up, pick up. All right. IB Personal Mix is great for movies and gaming. Is perfect for those light controlled environments, and it will work. It will work 2,000 lumens and up, 1080p, 3D, and 4K tested. What 4K test, 1080p projector testing have you done at the end of the day? If I put that on a white screen, it's still is it 4K tested? Where's your demonstrations on that? I haven't seen any demonstrations, because you think, could you take it, you stick it in front of a 4K, and it works on a 4K, it's basically 4K tested. If you stick it in front of a 1080p, it's 1080p tested. No, we can take certified screens and stick them on our screen. Guess what? That's been tested, because you can see the difference between our product versus a screen that costs $3,000 to $5,000. We drop them in environments that are basically maxed out, so it shows the screen can produce an image on a 1080p projector in a fully lit environment without the screen washing out or fading. Where are your tests on that? You don't have any tests on that, so I don't know where you come off using that at the end of the day. That's bull. Sorry, that's fake. You gotta back all that up. At the end of the day, you really need to get in there and get somebody to spelling check your stuff. You spelled court with an I. Return policy. Here, you spelled delivered wrong again. Return policy, same as before. This one's different. He has a. Okay, let me explain something to you. All your return policies must be in sync. They must all say the exact same thing. You can't have one saying one thing over here and another one saying something over here. That's not good, because in each one of your policies, they're saying something completely different. Let's see, refunds, returns and refund policy. Once the product is delivered, no refunds or no returns or refunds. Please make sure to ask any questions before any purchases are done. Thank you. Why do you have a period right here after thank you? I have a friend of mine, he's a freaking grammar nut. I just send him over here. He would freaking snap at the end of the day. He may call you out, cursing you out at the end of the day. He's a grammar fiend. Let me explain something to you people. At the end of the day, this has been like this for about last year. Now, it isn't like I'm coming on here and I'm busting on this guy or making fun of him, because he should have been had this done. We came in here about a week ago and still it's the same thing. This has been this way since since he opened up the site. It's been this way. Since he first launched the site, it's always been this way. He won't go in and fix jack. This is just sheer laziness at the end of the day. You can't go in and correct your site. There's spelling checkers all over that you can use to fix this mess, but he refuses to do it because he's just freaking lazy. And if he's that lazy where he won't go in and fix this mess, how much more is he going to do testing on his product at the end of the day, or can back his products up? I told you it's going to get to a point where he's not going to even mix black paint anymore. He's going to go to Sherwin-Williams, get that network grade 773, sprinkle a little bit of glitter in it so he can show a little difference in it, and sell it right back to you. Guarantee you already. He's going to save some money off of that. That's why we asked him to do the demonstration versus the paint. And that's why his product ended up matching paint. Yeah, that's oh, man. Even, as I said, even professionals that have amazing spelling, so even they will go in and have somebody go in and proofread their stuff. It's why they get there like, maybe like a 4-1 up there in front of all those people. I mean, even though they may be good at the end of the day, but they still pay somebody to come in that will be better than them at the end of the day, because even they don't want to make them freaking jacked up mistakes in front of a whole bunch of people and come out saying the wrong thing. They had people proofread all their stuff to make sure they don't make any mistakes themselves, even though they're extremely good at it. You need to have somebody come in and fix this craziness, because it does not help your business at the end of the day. It makes you sound like you can't spell or read at the end of the day. And if you can't do that, why in the world am I going to spend money on your product when you can't even properly spell the word delivered? And it's been this way. People will come back and check your site to see if you have fixed it. Pretty sure you got a bunch of emails and people telling you, yo, you really need to go in and fix that mess. I went in and I spelled ounce wrong. And some customer came in and said, hey, you spelled that wrong. Thank you so much. Even if he had assaulted me and called me an idiot at the end of the day, thank you. Good. I'm going to fix this. Because that means at the end of the day, you can't call me an idiot no more, because I went in and fixed it. And it shows at the end of the day that I am not lazy. You're lazy. I'll show you how lazy he is. This is how, I'm going to show you how lazy this joker is at the end of the day. You see this right here? When you have paint, like we had the 20 ounce. 20 ounce comes in a 20 ounce container, 1 gallon coming in a 1 gallon container, and so forth. Forever, we go to home. Comes in and so forth. If you go in, you'll notice that, hold on for a minute. When you go in, you'll notice that he's supposed to have 2 different containers there. Oh man, I can't do this, man. I'm done. I'm done. You're burning my brain cells out here, man. Your website desperately needs to be fixed, man. Not only that, man, your information that you're putting up is completely false. Your stuff you're talking about on your website, you're misleading your customers at the end of the day. Let's go look out the window. We're having this conversation. You're misleading your customers at the end of the day, because I can't look at your site no more. You're misleading your customers at the end of the day. This is not good for you, man. It makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about, and you definitely don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how in the world you would think at the end of the day that 2 quarts of paint are going to paint a 300-inch screen, and you literally stand by this, which shows either you're extremely stubborn, extremely lazy, or your product just doesn't work at the end of the day. There's something wrong there, man, with you. But that's basically about it. I'm going to go pop over my site where reality actually does work. I got to get out of here, people. I got things to do. I got demonstrations to do. I got to go. I'll catch y'all later. God bless. Careful when you go on these websites and you're buying stuff. Make sure you call these people. Make sure you question what they have on, or even question me at the end of the day. Knock yourself out. Question me. I enjoy a good challenge. You know how I am at the end of the day. So yeah. Gotta go.